Thank you. See, I said the 5 families, altogether 22 churches. Though within the Catholic Church they are only 2.5%, in India they will be about 30%. In India they will be nearly 30%. And the overall in the Catholic Church, all the 22 churches only, in the whole world it will be only 2.5%. Okay. Then, now even among the Catholics, 97.5, 50% of the world's Catholics are in South America. 50% of the world's Catholics are in South America. So all those countries, Brazil, Argentina, from where our Pope comes. Thanks be to God, we have first time an Argentinian Pope. But the language of the Catholic Church is not Italian, is not English, is not French. Language of the Catholic Church is Spanish. Language of the Catholic Church is Spanish. There are 50% of the people and more Catholics speaking Spanish than any other language. But we do not know it often, no? It is because of South America. It is South America. If by chance South America were to be drowned, then Catholic population only 50% then. 50% it will be reduced by 50% by then. So thanks be to God we have here, it is an acknowledgement also for the Catholic Church. Though all along we had Pope from Italy, it is not even 5% of the Catholic population. But 50% of the Catholic population is Spanish speaking. Other than the South American countries, we also Spain, which is a bigger country than Italy itself, speaking Spanish. For your general knowledge, I am telling. Sometimes you will think what language most of the Catholics speak means you should not say other language. We will think English or French, but it is Spanish. It is Spanish. Okay. Now I don't want to go into the detail. There are among these 22 churches, some are called patriarchal churches because the head is a patriarch. Others are called major archiepiscopal churches. Our Syro Malabar and Malankara have a major archbishop. We have Cardinal Alancheri and Cardinal Clemis. Clemis of Syro Malankara. We studied together in Rome. He was my neighbor. He was the youngest cardinal till recently. Now Pope has appointed a new one who will take charge next month. He will become he will lose his title as the youngest cardinal of the world. Youngest cardinal of the world is Clemis. Even now, Pope has last week announced some 22 cardinals, but nobody from India. Then some of the bishops might have been disappointed. They would have been thinking that Pope is thinking of them to be the cardinal, but then now he will lose the title. So they are major archbishop. Then you have archbishop and other bishops in the churches like that. Then any question regarding these Eastern churches? I did not tell everything. It will be normal if you ask questions. It will be abnormal if you don't ask questions about Eastern churches and the Latin church. One more point I want to say. So the Western church spoke primarily or gave importance to Latin in their worship, in their official communication. Latin. That's why we call Latin church. The Western Roman Empire used Latin, so it is called a Latin church. Present day Italy, these are the countries belonging to the West. Italy, Spain, Portugal, Germany, England, then all these countries formed part of the Western Roman Empire. When faith came from these countries, even though geographically India is in the east, then we were also Western or Latin church. Western or Latin church. Though geographically we are in the east, India is in the east only. But then why we called Western Church? I am a Latin Christian, means Western Christian, means because faith came from, missionaries from Portugal came to Tamil Nadu. So missionaries from Spain came, missionaries from France came. And I forgot important country, France. France. From these countries, these were the Latin right countries, and faith came from them. We are Latins. Latins are Western Church. In addition, we have Protestants or Reformers and Pentecostals. These separated from the Western Church after the 13th century. 13th century, the Protestants, the CSI, the Pentecostal Church, the Lutheran Church, the Zwingli group, so many churches are there. So these churches have only one sacrament, that is baptism. That is valid. On the other hand, this is Catholic Church. We have non-Catholic Eastern churches known as Orthodox. The Orthodox churches. So all these 22 have corresponding non-Catholic churches. Non-Catholic churches which are Orthodox. So they have all the 7 sacraments. The only thing is they do not accept the authority of the Pope. Authority of the Pope. What do we mean by full communion? Full communion means we make the same profession of faith. We have same sacraments. We have the same hierarchy, ecclesiastical governance. So Catholics have same profession of faith, same sacraments and same ecclesiastical governance. Same ecclesiastical governance. So, I want to explain to you one more point. This is not all theological point. You should try to understand at least. I would think I am not going to, at least so nobody else is going to tell you. They should have told you, I believe. So, the extent of communion. So, see. First, see, this is all Catholics. A small minority, these are the 22 churches, but all these are Catholics. All these are Catholics, Latin Church. All these are Latin Church. This is 22 Eastern Catholic churches. Eastern Catholic churches. But all of us are under the authority of the Pope. Okay. Then we have Eastern churches, but non-Catholic. Eastern churches, but non-Catholic. The next category, Eastern churches, but non-Catholic. They have 7 sacraments. They have the same profession of faith, but only thing is they do not accept ecclesiastical governance. So I write in short form, you should write in full form. You will think there's some education grant or something. I put ecclesiastical governance. I may write something. So PF Provident Fund you may be thinking. Profession of faith. What I am saying you should write. You understand? The next category is these are called Orthodox churches. The Eastern Catholics who are not Catholic are called Orthodox. So Eastern churches, I meant Eastern churches. They are not Catholic. Eastern churches which are not in communion are called also Orthodox churches. We are very close. Only thing is we are praying that they will be united. They have Marian devotion. They have saints, everything like us only. Only they are not subject to the authority of the Pope. The Marthomite Syrian Church, for example, they are like us only, but they are non-Catholic. They are non-Catholic, very close. The next relationship is with the other Protestant churches. Other churches, they have only thing is baptism, same baptism. They don't have Eucharist, they don't have priests. They may call pastors, but we don't accept them. They may call bishops, but we do not accept. There is no priesthood in that church. Only validity is only baptism. They may use the title bishop and priest, but no real priesthood. So therefore no Eucharist. No Eucharist, the Protestants. Then others are monotheists, are those who believe in one God. Believe in one God. The Jews, the Muslims, Jews, Muslims and all. Even some of the Hindus. Some, not all of them. If you believe only in one God, there is only one God. That is the next category. Then we have the next category, which is all human beings. Then the whole nature, the whole world. So the distance of our relationship varies. So first, you are within the Latin Church, but all the 23 are equal only. One Latin Church and 22 churches we are all Catholic one. Sometimes we will think of Syro-Malabar Church as if non-Catholic, but they are also Catholic, they are also under the Pope. What is the difference? Only certain liturgical practices difference and governance way they are different, but all accept the authority of the Pope only. How many were born Syro-Malabar? Syro-Malabar, how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 only. She also. No, Syro-Malabar. Any Syro-Malankara here? Nobody.
No.
Not even one.
No.
Oh, I see. Not even one. Sometimes we had 1 or 2 Syro-Malabar Malankara sisters also. So, in this, how many Syro-Malabar are working for Latin congregation? So, most of you are also for Latin. Okay. It is fitting. Okay. It is fitting that I am teaching you Latin canon law. For example, sannyasa, like this only, many of them are for Latin church. But then they study Oriental canon law. Oriental canon law. In this way, you are privileged. So, except Latin, even the Syro-Malabar are working for Latin. Where and when there is difference, I always point out. There is 2 code, I will say. So, you understand this now. The church which divided before the first millennium, in the first millennium, they had all the sacraments. Afterwards, there is no real priesthood. With Luther and all, there is no bishop and then things like that. That is after the new church. This is a bit of church history which you should know very clearly. Now I am open to question, because for your whole general knowledge, I am not going to ask you all this in the examination. Don't break your head, but for your general knowledge I am saying this. Just tell me anything. Feel free to ask me.
If a priest goes from our church to another denomination,
yes,
they have priesthood and all, right?
Yeah.
Then
So
if he wants to come back, he can come back.
yeah. So now what happens is, so a priest goes. Suppose I become a Protestant. I become a Protestant priest. My priesthood is valid, but I do not have the power to ordain. Even when I go there, I cannot. But the problem will come when one of our bishops becomes a Protestant and he ordains, means the ordination will be valid. There will be valid ordination. There will be valid ordination. If any bishop goes, he has the power to ordain. Though he will be excommunicated, and one who is ordained also excommunicated by the law, that is different matter. But valid priesthood will be there if any of the bishop joins the Protestant church. In the Orthodox churches, there is already bishops. There is no problem. Validly ordained bishops. So if I go away, for example, I will be suspended But then I have only one power, in danger of death to hear confession. Somebody is in danger of death, that power is always given to me. Now, suppose I join. Your question is, if I want to come back again. So, when I am sent away, again I can come back, but provided I do the reparation and the bishop accepts, the Holy See accepts. Anybody who has, like the Catholic who has gone away, one who has gone away, anybody, even bishop or priest can always come back. Can always come back.
If he was such a scandal to the church,
Yeah.
when he again comes, he can come back. He is leading his care, he come back.
Yeah, if he was scandal, anybody, no. So, no permission can be permanent. So, scandal means depending on what mistake he did. Now, so I always distinguish. Now also, tomorrow also, one bishop is coming to consult me. So, there are two things. Our sister is asking one question. One is priesthood. Okay, delete. Okay, priesthood. The other is clerical state, we will say. I don't know how far you will understand, but I have to say something. So, they are related but not identical. These two terms are related but not identical. Priesthood or sacred orders means all three: diaconate, priesthood, sacred order. This is valid. Once validly received, it cannot be lost. Like the baptism and confirmation. Baptism, confirmation, they cannot be repeated also. Baptism, confirmation and priesthood cannot be repeated. These three sacraments cannot be repeated. Once you are ordained a priest validly, then you are a priest till you die. Even if you make mistakes, your priesthood is not lost. But one can lose the clerical state. Clerical state means rights and obligations attached to priesthood. The church can restrict the exercise of the obligations. The church can restrict. For example, nowadays we hear about pedophilia, priests abusing children, little children, sexual abuse of minors. The church now follows zero tolerance policy. The person must be dismissed from priesthood. Dismissed not from priesthood, dismissed from the clerical state. He is made a lay person, but even such a person in danger of death can hear confession because the original priesthood remains in him. One thing he is allowed, that is to hear confession in danger of death. Otherwise, he is dismissed from all other obligations of the priesthood. But priesthood is not, again suppose such a person repents and is in an ashram making 5 years retreat, prayer. He wants to be admitted. Maybe in that diocese it may be a scandal. He may go to north or outside India and can be allowed to given a parish also to be parish priest if his identity is not known, if his scandal is not there. But same place, people may not accept. That is another matter. But then his priesthood, because he is dismissed, he will not be ordained again. He will be asked to do some reparation. Anybody can be accepted back, but the competent authority must decide how far such a person's ministry will be beneficial, how he will be accepted, all that. Even St. Paul was a party to murder, but then the Lord touched him. There is always conversion for a person before his call. So that is it. Okay. Any other question regarding the churches? That was my consideration. Regarding the east and the west. What is the difference you are asking? Within the Catholic Church or outside? Yeah. East and west. So, same faith, same sacraments. Okay. What are the differences? So, you ask our sisters, Sierra Malabar and Malankara Mass. You will have experiential knowledge. How is it different in your church? You ask them. Our sisters are there. They will tell you. Well, the one thing they will tell you, our mass is long, Father, and so because we don't know our Father properly, we say it 5 times, Father, during the mass. So that Father, and then all kinds of your priests keep like this, they will keep like this, Father, and the hand and all, Father. Our cross is exactly the same measure, not like this, Father. Like all these things they may say. In the expression of faith there can be difference. Unity in the essentials, but diversity in the non-essentials, in the accidentals. The faith can be expressed in so many ways. Otherwise, all the same Catholic Church only. Same Catholic Church only. Why? Because when they rejoined the Catholic Church, I say, they wanted their identity to be established, recognized. Their identity. We accept the authority, but give us greater autonomy. There is greater autonomy, self-governance, except in the important things where they will come to the Pope. For example, choice of bishops. In the Latin Church, everything there is a process and finally Pope decides. In the Eastern churches, most of the churches, the bishops sit together and they elect the bishop. Elect the new bishop. Syro-Malabar Church, for example. But Rome want to have a control. So suppose the bishop candidates, 30 of them, they will send the list to Rome. Rome will send it back, maybe deleting 2 names. When a vacancy comes, out of the 28, they can elect anybody as bishop. When a vacancy occurs like that, then with regard to appointment of bishops, the Eastern churches, the bishops decide. They like you elect the general chapter elects the general, the bishops elect the new bishop. Bishops elect the new bishop. Like that major archbishop, the head of the church. That Pope is elected by cardinals. Here all the bishops join together and elect the major archbishop, head of that church. Like that, in the internal governance, lot of autonomy is there in these churches. Otherwise, sacraments are the same. Some differences are there. In the course of this, I will tell you what are the differences. In the Latin Church, normally the bishop gives confirmation. Bishop is not able, he can ask other priests. But in the Oriental Church, every priest can give confirmation. In the Eastern churches, every priest can give confirmation. That is one thing. In the Latin Church, a deacon can bless the marriage also, with regard to asking that consent. The Oriental Church, the priestly blessing is important. Only the priest must bless. Only that is their tradition. Priest must bless. Because in the Latin Church, the parties are the ministers. Husband and wife are the ministers. In the Oriental Church, priest is the minister. That is the reason. Otherwise, changing rite. At the time of marriage, the Latin Church allows the man and the woman to change to the right of other person. But Oriental Church does not allow the men to change. If women want, a Malayali girl, a Syro-Malabar girl wants to join Latin, okay. But Syro-Malabar man, it doesn't allow. Syro-Malabar man should not join the Latin Church, except with the permission of the Pope. Congregation, no problem. Congregation, for admission to a Latin congregation, you need permission. You need the permission of their bishop is needed. That's all. That's no problem. But if they have a province, no need of their permission. Suppose there is a Syro-Malabar province, so no need of any permission. Like this, there are minor differences. Otherwise, both codes are one and the same. Both codes are one and the same. Okay, I go to that, then we go to the canons. In the limited time, I will not be able to. I want to tell you as many things as possible. Any other thing with regard to these churches? You know, you type in the internet when you have Eastern Catholic churches. What are the churches? How much each number? Everything will be given there. You will find out. The latest, you just type in the Google Eastern Catholic churches. Those who want to really learn all the names of these 22 churches and how much number, you know. But I gave you a general idea about it. Anything, sister? So you should be really happy for studying in IAS, because many of your own superiors, seniors in the congregation, they do not know. They do not know all this. They will be thinking, what Catholic Church? Catholic Church is a communion of 23 churches, 1 Latin church and 22 Eastern churches. 22 Eastern Catholic churches are there within the communion, Catholic communion. You can attend Mass in any Catholic church. Syro Malabar Church, if you understand Malayalam, you can. So, one of my relatives married a Malayali girl. So how to speak Malayalam? He said, that is Malayalam, he said. That man said, like this you say, like this you shake the shoulder, then it is Malayalam, he said. Okay. So like that. Yeah, they have the patriarch. They will call also Catholicos. Like that. Just as we have now, like Orthodox churches, not all of them together. Each church has a head. We have commonly Pope, Latin Church head. See, you know, the Holy Father gave the title, gave up. Pope Benedict XVI had one more title, Patriarch of the West. But he said, I don't want the title. Because I am giving up the title. That means I am patriarch of the whole world. Why I want to be called patriarch of the West? So some of the Eastern churches were angry with the Pope for giving up the title. Because by giving up, he was claiming more. That's it. So now, henceforth, he will not be called. Like that, the head of each church, each of the Orthodox church is called normally patriarch. Patriarch. Father and head of the church. So, Cardinal George Allen Cherry, father and head of the Syro-Malabar Church. Father and head of the Syro-Malabar Church. Like that. Patriarch, they call it. Yes. Anything else regarding these churches? So, our Father Benny and all Syro-Malabar only. Syro-Malabar Church, but then working for MSFS, joining MSFS congregation. So this church, so many here are alive. Can you change your rights? That is another question. Canon 111 and 12 speak about change of right. So after baptism you can change the right. At the time of marriage you are given free license. Suppose you are marrying a person of another right. Yesterday also, this morning also, Father is calling. So one girl in Villupuram from our diocese wants to marry a Latin, but she belongs to Orthodox Church. But when she comes into Catholic Church, she should become Syro-Malankara only, because it is from the Oriental. Orthodox Church means that corresponding church only she should come. But wants to marry a Latin. I was telling them, first of all, she is, as soon as she is received into full communion, no need of baptism. Full communion, she becomes Syro-Malankara. Then at the time of marriage, she can say, I am a Malankara now, but I want to become a Latin. She can give in writing and then she can become a Latin, I told. She can become at the time of marriage, you can change the right of the other spouse. If it is mixed marriage, like two right. In the Catholic Church itself, one belongs to Latin, another at the time of marriage. The girl can change. Otherwise, you want to become a Latin. Some people say, I want to become Latin. Why? Because it is short mass. That may not be the right reason. One is born into the right. Whether you like or not, you are born in the right of your parents. So many Malayalis here in Bangalore were baptized by the Latin priest only so far. Now we have Syro-Malabar parishes. But even though Latin priest baptized, Latin liturgy was used, but they are born in the right of the parents. So now once Syro-Malabar parishes are created, automatically those people will belong to that parish. But I had a tough problem in Chennai. I was the mediator. The people don't want to go back to Syro-Malabar. Then I told them, whether you like or not, you are Syro-Malabar only. No, Father, we only built this Latin church, we want to belong to it. I told only with the permission of the Pope you can join the Latin Church permanently. Because why this restriction is, otherwise everything will become Latin. I said about 90% of non-Catholics are yet to join. They are treating how the Catholics, Oriental Catholics within the Catholic Church are treated. That's why there is separate congregation for Oriental Church, extra privileges for the Oriental Church, Siro Malabar, Nalankara, and all extra privileges are given to them, that all may be united. Okay. A bit of church history won't do any harm. Huh? Any other question? Oh no, I don't mean by privilege. For example, in the whole church there are 9 departments of the Holy See. 9 departments of the Holy See. One privilege is like, for example, electing your own bishop. Rome doesn't say we will appoint bishop. It is a privilege, deciding your own bishop. That is one of the things. Then with regard to the other things, what privilege? Govern yourself, your own liturgy. In the Latin Church, to change anything in the liturgy, you need the Pope's permission. Now within here itself you decide all these things. Like that, more of self-governance and like that. What I mean by privilege, so everything in the Oriental congregation deals with the scholarship, for example, as priest to study. You write to the Oriental congregation, they immediately intervene. We don't have a separate, we have propaganda fide for 3,000 dioceses. If there are 5,000 dioceses, for the 3,000 dioceses, propaganda fide has to decide. It is a vast ocean. Here one department only for the Orientals, and a lot of things are done also. That is it. Okay. Right question, sister. I was not prepared for the answer, but there are privileges of self-governance. Self-governance especially. That's it. You don't need to depend on Rome for each and everything. You can make your own laws. Suppose, for example, we Latin Church. So I should not say we Latin Church, I should be common. But I am a Latin only. So want to make any law, even if all the bishops decide, we are going to have meeting now in St. John's Hospital for the Latin bishops of India, that is called CCBI, from February 3rd to 9th. All the bishops will come here. We make laws, but then Rome has to approve. But all the Syro Malabar bishops make law, Rome need not approve for their church. Yes, that is another question, important question. The teaching of the Pope must be accepted by all the 23 churches. All must be accepted by. But then the Pope should say, this is for Latin Church or this is for the whole church. What is doctrine must be accepted by all. What is discipline? It must be made known whether it is meant for all. The same Pope gave both the laws. Okay, now I don't want to go into the history of canon law. For the first time, we had a canon law book for the whole Latin Church only in 1917. Only in 1917. Before that, there were different parts. For the first time, we had a canon law book only in 1917. It is called the Code of Canon Law. Code of Canon Law. In Latin it is Codex Canonis, Codex Juris Canonici, known as CIC. Codex Juris Canonici, English Code of Canon Law. First time. The predecessor of this code. This is also known by the same name. The Code of Canon Law. 1917. Then Pope John 23rd started the work of revising this code. He said this is outdated. So 1959 he started revising it. Then after Vatican II the work Finally, in 1983, Saint John Paul II gave the new code, new CIC. This is what is that for the Latin Church. CIC means, at least know this in Latin, Codex Iuris Canonici, the code of canon law. So this is canon is there. This Iuris comes from the word use. Use means law. Use in Latin means law. Code of canon law. Code of canon law. So this work was started by Pope Pius X and then Benedict 15th promulgated it in 1907, Feast of Pentecost. The following year, on the same day, it came into effect. 1918, it came into effect. Feast of Pentecost, it came into effect. 1918, Feast of Pentecost, it came into effect. This in-between time is called the Vacatio Legis. So the old code was promulgated in 1917, Pentecost, May. Then came into effect the following year, same feast of Pentecost, in 1918. This one was promulgated 25th January 1983, came into effect 27 November 1983. First Sunday of Advent that year. 25th January what feast? Conversion of Paul. So this was promulgated, came into effect. In between nearly 10 months of Vacatio Legis. That means new law takes the holiday. Then only it come into effect. I was telling you about Vacatio Legis now, last class. So, this old code is divided into 5 books and has 2,000 more than 2,000 canon. 2,000. Suddenly I forgot the number. First time. 2,000 more than 4. Okay, I will give the number later. Sorry. Here it is divided into 7 books. It is divided into 7 books and then 1,752 canons. Canons. 7 books. So this is now binding the Latin Church, the whole of the Latin Church. 98%, nearly 98% of the Catholics are bound by the CIC 1983. For the Orientals, we did not have a common code. Pius XII started the work. Pius XII started the work. Promulgated some parts, 4 parts of the Oriental code. But in between Vatican II came. Then again the work was started in 1972 and finally on 18th October 1990, a common code for all the 22 churches was promulgated by the name by John Paul II only promulgated on 18th October 1990. It is known as Codex Canonum. The Oriental code name I am writing, Canonum Ecclesiarum Orientalium. Don't worry, I will explain. The name of the Oriental code is Codex Canonum Ecclesiarum Orientalium. Codex Canonum Ecclesiarum Orientalium. The English translation is Code of Canons. Code of Canons for the Oriental Churches. Code of Canons for the Oriental Churches or Eastern Churches. Code of Canons for the Oriental and Eastern means one and the same. Code of Canons for the Eastern Churches. It came into effect 1st October 1991. After 1 year nearly. What is 18th October feast? Saint Luke. Very good, sister. Sister, remember Saint Luke's feast. What is 1st October? That many know. Especially SMI should know. Saint Teresa of Child Jesus. So it came. It is divided into 30 books. 30 titles, sorry. Straight away divided into titles. And then 1546 canons. Is I think 2414. Old code, 1917 code. Okay, yeah, earlier I said I forgot the number. Okay, the Oriental code has how many canons? 1546. It is straight away divided into 30 titles. So this is the law of the church. Now presently we have 1983 code for the Latin church, 1990 code for the Oriental churches. The name is Code of Canons for the Oriental churches, in briefly known as CCEO. CCEO means Oriental Code. CCEO is Oriental Code. Sorry, in Canonum I made mistake, you see. Canonum. Canonum. Another N is there. Cononum. Codex Canonum. So now what is the law of the, what do you mean by the canon law? Means you have to say we have altogether two laws now presently. One is this book, the Latin Code of 1983. The other is 1990 of the Oriental Churches. Oriental Churches. This year they celebrated 25 years of the Oriental Code. Actually, Oriental Canon Law Society, I went to Kerala to give a talk last month for the celebration. For all the Oriental canonists were gathered, Siro Malabar and Malankara. Since I am the president of all the canonists of India, not only Latin canonists but also Oriental canonists, president of the all the canonists of India, I was called, even though I am Latin, to the Oriental Canon Law Silver Jubilee. I presented a paper on pastoral care for broken families like that. So they celebrated it because from 1990 now it is 25 years. Oriental Canon Law Society was started. We had the Jubilee in Cochin. It was celebrated in the CMI Dharmaram Father's house in their generalate. in the General 8 I had been there. Okay. That is it. This is a bit of history. So we have now altogether 3 codes. One code is not effective because it is old code, no? 1917. The old code is also called Pio Benedictine code because 2 popes were involved. Benedict Pius the 10th and Benedict the 15th. 16 was now recently was pope. Benedict the 15th. He was pope in 1917. So it is also known by their name, Pio Benedictine code. So, any doubt regarding this? Only one thing, I did not give the name of the document with which it was promulgated. The old code, Providentissima Mater Ecclesiae, the second new code by Sacre Discipline Legis, that is the document with which it was promulgated. You need not worry. Then the 1990 code, Sacri Canonis. Usually I tell that also, afterwards you will forget, doesn't matter. At least the Pope who promulgated, John Paul II, these 2, that is Benedict the 15th. Pius the 10th started the work in 1904. This is canon law. Canon law means now we have the church is governed by 2 canon law books. All the Oriental churches are governed by CCEO, and then the Latin church is governed by CIs. But some of these canons also affect Oriental, some of their canons also affect Latin church. We should know both the codes only. But most of them, 95% are same only. 95% are only same. If you know one code, you will automatically know the other. Only here and there a few differences. Any doubt before we go for the break? Yeah, one code is, one Latin code is old Latin code. That is 1917 code. That is also known as CIC 1917. That is no more valid after 1983 November 27. It died. The 1917 code died from 27th November 1983. That day onwards we are following new code. Though it was promulgated on 25th January. We have 2 Latin codes, one Oriental code, or one Eastern code for the Eastern churches.
We have altogether only like names other Pio.
No, the old code also is known as Pio Benedictine code. Pio, because 2 popes were involved. Pio Benedictine code, I said. You need not worry about it. Now we have only 2 codes. But only know that it is. The next thing is, you should know the names of all the 7 books. 7 books of the 1983 code. 7 books.